let's get real.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Real Talk with Menashe. I am your host, Menashe Chinyanganya. Today is a very exciting interview because I have my first official guest.
Chinyanganya.
Sorry,
She's nervous.
I'm a little nervous.
I have
no,
that
not
effect
really.
on people.
Oh,
I know.
shut up. No, not really. I'm excited for this guest though because it's someone that I know, someone that I've worked with, and I think he's really going to add a lot of value to Real Talk in this conversation that we're going to have. So, a little intro. Okay. This man is a creative by nature. He's a music artist. He's got what I would describe as eccentric style. Okay. He founded and is a host of Ecclectic Conversations, which we'll get into. And lastly, he's funny while being occasionally annoying. So everyone, please welcome Jonathan.
Hello.
Jonathan, thanks for coming on. How are you doing?
I'm good. I feel great. You forgot the dad jokes. I love dad jokes too.
He does love dad
jokes. I can be
jokes.
kind of corny.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. I just wanted to give him like a little something. I know that you'll show yourself on that. Yeah.
Thanks for having me though. This is I'm happy to be the first.
I'm excited. I really am excited about this. Now, before we started, you had mentioned, and I was going to ask you anyway, that you go by another name now. Mm-hmm. What is the name that you go by?
Yeah, well, so in the last job I was working at, everyone there called me Beige. I went by Beige. Beige is my artist name, but it's also kind of just, it's a name that I chose to go by now for a reason though. I didn't just like choose it out of nowhere.
What's the reason?
There are a few reasons actually.
Okay, go ahead.
So the first one, Beige actually stuck with me around college. I was like 20, 21 in college. I went to FIU and I used to wear these like Oriental garments, which you may or may not have seen me wear it before, but it's like this silk, shirt. And we used to have these banquets. So I would wear this Oriental garments at a banquet.
Yeah.
And like, it's clear beige, my skin tone,
Yeah,
right?
that was my first guess.
Right. That's what most people think. And it's kind of funny. They laugh at it when they first hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So a friend of mine, Dante, he one time saw me walking through FIU in the garment. He was like, if it isn't the beige warrior. Right. And from there, it stuck. That became my Instagram handle.
Yeah.
But here's really why it's interesting. My mom found out about Instagram or my Instagram handle relatively soon after that time.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Beige Warrior, like, what made you use that? Where'd you get that from? And I told her the story. And she said, well, before you were born, your grandmother, my grandmother's name was Fortuné, your grandmother asked me to name you Beige. Beige. She said, name him Beige.
Actually?
Swear.
Huh. Okay.
So imagine, this is 20 years into my life.
Right.
It just comes to me. And then she's telling me that was what my grandmother asked me to be named. Nah, they didn't name me. My mom, my dad chose Jonathan instead.
Right.
Which I don't, I like the name Jonathan.
Yeah.
But as a way to honor her and as a way to also represent my views on balance in life, neutrality. Mm-hmm. Beige is a neutral color. Beige is a color that is a mix of brown, white, right? So it speaks to my cultural background. It speaks to my mindset and how I view things, understanding that there's dark and light in everything.
Yeah.
And it speaks to just, I guess, destiny in a way, or fate, if you believe in that. It just came to me. It came back to me. It found me. And so I stick with it.
Beige. Okay, I like it. So everyone outside, because when we used to work together once upon a time, that's how we know each other, everyone's calling you Jonathan. And so now everyone in your life calls you Beige. That's just what you go by. Does anyone even know?
So there's still
name?
Some people who knew me prior to it.
Sure.
Who will use Johnny. A lot of my friends and like family growing up, they'll call me Jay or Johnny.
Okay.
And so, you may hear some people use that, but you know, in some cases, I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me when people call me Jonathan or Johnny, but like, it's more so of me just affirming, this is what I ask of you, and like this is what I require.
Right.
So but it's not like I'm gonna get,
some type of way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you introduce yourself, you just go by Beige.
Beige, yeah.
Is that
my last job? That's what everyone called me. If you go there now,
they're like, "What's up, Beige?"
Yeah, they would say, "You mean Beige?" So
got it. Was that the inspo for these tips in your hair?
Nah, actually, yeah. Everyone thinks I look like Aaron Carter. No.
What's the inspo behind the hair, Beige?
So whenever I make these like rash decisions, these big,
it was rash,
kind of crazy. Well, no, so it was rash. It's not impulsive. I didn't just do it. Like, I didn't wake up and say, I'm going to do it. I had been thinking about it for like a year.
Is this the first time you've done this? Because why do I feel like you've done this before?
Dyeing my hair?
No, yeah, like, no, but this color though. Is this the first?
I've never dyed my hair.
Are you kidding?
Never. I just burped.
Yikes. Wait, really?
I've never dyed my hair.
I don't know why I thought you had. Okay.
Because, well, when my hair, it was long.
Yeah, he used to rock a serious fro.
My hair was long, think like Carrot Top or like Sideshow Bob. That's what I used to get. I used to get those in high school.
Yeah.
Sideshow Bob, Carrot Top, when my hair was like that again.
Yeah.
When my hair gets long and it's in the sun, it just kind of lightens.
Okay.
Naturally.
Okay.
And then when I cut it, it darkens again. So I don't know if it's just like the volume of hair and the light hitting it makes it look lighter or what. Mm-hmm. When I was little, my mom used to put beer in my hair to lighten it naturally. She still does that to her own hair.
Why did she want to lighten it? Just to do it?
Just like highlights. Like if you were to, instead of using chemical to dye your hair,
sure,
she would use beer.
Beer will lighten your hair?
Yeah.
Like a considerable amount? Like
it's noticeable? So you put beer in your hair.
Yeah. And
then you go to the beach.
Okay.
So you're in the sun.
Yeah.
And then you wash it out with the salt water.
It's interesting.
Natural highlights. You gotta do it consistently, of course.
Right. That's so interesting. Your mom would know that.
Yeah.
I feel like she knows all the home remedies and stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it wasn't a rash decision, but a decision that you wanted, or it was a rash decision.
No. I thought about that for a long time, and finally I just said, you know what? I just want something different. It was like December. It was like holiday time, and actually I was hosting a holiday party for the youth and the families that I worked with.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a Jack Frost moment. So it's just like to me, timing is everything.
Right. Okay.
Timing is everything.
No,
so
it's true.
I had been wanting to do it, but I played into the fact that it was a holiday
That's
time.
funny. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, Beige, fill us in on the music. How is the music going?
Yeah. So great. In fact, what this interview's kind of theme is about really speaks to my artistic career as well, my music.
Yeah.
But where I'm at with my music right now is I've been dedicating a lot of time to mastering my production, my production style, which is like making the actual songs, the music.
Yeah.
And then now I'm at a point now where I finally decided on a direction that I want to go for my next project.
Okay.
It's going to be called Leave It All Behind.
Leave it all behind. What are we leaving behind?
Well,
do we have to wait?
A lot of things. I think it speaks to being present, moving forward.
Okay.
Accepting what has happened, but like moving on from it,
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's my next project.
So what is the sound going to be like? Like what's
I'm thinking, so what I'm working with right now is very like euphoric, spacey kind of sound. That's something that I go for often. Yeah, just like in space where it's kind of like you're floating, right?
Okay.
Floating through a moment in time.
Not floating like I'm on drugs.
I mean, if that's what you
Like, well, people don't normally float. So when you say like floating,
like,
like I just feel like I'm just
you
like,
never felt like you float before? Is that just me?
when? No, wait.
Is that just me?
I feel like I'm floating. Like, no, I've never. Have you felt like you're
I'm
floating?
floating right now.
What does that mean? What does that?
Hey, one day you'll experience it.
Okay, all right. So this is gonna feel like I'll experience it when the album comes out.
There you go.
I'll feel like I'm floating. Okay, so the sound is like.
Yeah, so melodically, it'll feel like, it's floating, chill, mellow. But my drums, I tend to lean more towards like rhythmic drums. So like think Afrobeat, think like I grew up listening to a lot of like reggae, dance hall, compa. My dad, my dad's side is Haitian.
Okay.
So like I grew up with a lot of those rhythmic sounds, and I really love things that you can move to.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the album, I'm gonna be very intentional with like, just sticking to the theme of moving on. Right?
Got it.
Leaving it all behind.
Got it. And will this be your? Okay, so I know that I forget the year you put all these songs on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
Your album. What album was that? Or is it considered an album? Or
Wingman of the Year?
Yeah. Is that an album or is that like an EP?
So,
like, how does that work?
Well, when people say album, I think if you're speaking about within the music industry, would it be an album? No, right?
Okay.
Albums, and for a few reasons, albums typically are a certain length.
Okay.
Right, a length of a project. I believe it's like 30 minutes, something like that, total length. And then you got EPs, which are about, I want to say 15 minutes. I'm not sure exactly off the top of my head. Don't quote me, but it's pretty much dependent on length of time. That's one of the main criteria that'll separate an album from an EP from a, LP, right?
So is this going to be your first official album then?
This will be an EP. But when I say album, and when I'm speaking to people who maybe don't really know so much about the music industry and all those details, I just say album because an album, to me, I think of a photo album.
Sure.
And you're looking through memories, or you're looking through something that you're experiencing or you're re-experiencing, right? Mm-hmm. And you can go back to it and look back to it. I speak about album in that sense, where you can listen to this project and you can go back and listen to it later.
Yeah.
So if someone says album, I'm not gonna like be particular and correct you on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say, yeah, it's an album.
Got it. But for you, like the artist,
it's an EP.
It's an EP.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And when is this getting released, or is that TBD?
So it is TBD, but I've already started working on the production for it.
Okay.
So finished production, going to song, and songwriting as well. My goal is we're in April. My goal is like, I would say beginning of June to have it done.
Oh, for the summer.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my goal. The only reason why I hesitate for a moment right there is because for the feel of the summer, I may want to push this project to fall and drop something like spontaneous in summer that is more upbeat, up tempo.
Got it.
So it just depends.
Depends on the vibe. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning of your music career. Like, what made you decide like you wanted to be an artist to begin with? What made you go down that path?
I mean, I've been around music since I was little. When I was like 3 years old, it was my first time playing a piano. There was a friend of mine's house, Renee and Margaret. My mom and we stayed with them for some time, and they had a piano there, and I remember playing the piano from that age. Mm-hmm. Maybe not 3, maybe like 4 or 5, but there's stories like my mom. I got to play with Sting. Mm-hmm. Do you know Sting?
No.
You don't know the group Sting?
Who's in it?
Do you know Sting? Okay, Sting is an old rock group.
Why would he know Sting?
Some of the
Okay,
People here
what
know,
year were they like popular?
like they know like Queen.
Is Sting on the same level as
Hell
Queen?
yeah.
Okay,
Sting is a British rock group.
what's a
Rock and
popular
roll.
song? Because I tend to know a lot of music, but I'm not good with like the names of songs and sometimes
Me
who's
neither.
even singing
I'm
it.
honestly not either.
Do
And
they-
and they're not really my they're not really my era per se,
Okay.
or our era I should say.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be like, you don't know Sting. Like if I said
You
Drake,
just,
if I said
you
Drake,
just did that. You just did that.
because I just feel like they're popular enough to know.
No, okay, so the name kind of I guess sounds familiar, but like what's a song?
Okay, do you know? I ain't gonna lie, I don't know.
All right.
But if you look up Sting,
Right.
I played with Sting when I was little, or I got to just like play around on the piano when I was really small.
Yeah.
Not that it's consequential, and that was the reason why I went with music. Music has been my greatest teacher.
Oh, okay. Why would you say that?
That's why I stick with it. That's why I have committed myself to it, because I've learned so much about myself, and like through doubt, through. Excuse me, I ate not too long ago.
It's all right.
Through learning about myself, about like learning about discipline, learning about dedication, learning about work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Music has taught me all that in a weird way, because there was a point where I picked up music around 19. Seriously, I got my first beat machine. I got a native instrument machine, drum sequencer.
Mm-hmm.
And I started making beats when I was around 19 years old. And I remember making beats, and I was doing good with it, but like I was teaching myself. I mean, nobody was teaching me. I was teaching myself, and it can be really frustrating when you're teaching yourself and then you play something for someone, and then they're like,
Yeah.
like not really. They give a mid response. That shit is frustrating,
Yeah.
and it can really break you down, and it broke me down.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing a beat for a friend of mine, and I could just tell he wasn't really feeling it.
Yeah.
It discouraged me.
Yeah.
So I dropped it for some years, and then I remember around this time, or no, not around this time, but around like 2017, 2018, I was like, I gotta get back into it. Not that I stopped altogether. I stopped like making beats.
Yeah.
But I was still writing, and I was still, like I'll record myself.
Yeah.
Rapping, whatever, writing songs. So it was very much something that it was still within me. I would love to freestyle with people every chance I could get.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that everyone does. So when I would come around someone who likes to freestyle, I'm like, yo, let's pull up some beats. And so, yeah, like it had stayed with me, but production was something that I dropped for some time. And then I picked it back up. Eventually I got, I just got back into it. I got some, what did I get? I set my speakers back up. I set a mixer back up. In fact, I think it was very much, I was inspired by like, some of the people that we know.
Yeah.
Around here.
Yeah.
Young kids, just like hearing some of the raps that I do and be like, yo, you're so good.
Yeah.
And it rejuvenates you a bit. It taught me about how I take criticism.
Yeah.
It taught me about how sensitive I am.
Yeah.
It taught me about just the fact that you don't need to stop what you're doing because someone doesn't see your value or see like what you're doing is valuable.
Sure. Yeah. Eclectic Conversations.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. So you founded this group, right? There's 3 of you.
Myself and Giancarlo.
Right. There's 2.
It. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
No. There are 3.
There's 3 now, but you and Giancarlo are the founders of it.
And Jasmine joined us a few years later.
Okay. So give the people insight into what Eclectic Conversations is, why it started, all of that.
Yes, yeah. Eclectic Conversations is just really, it was just a byproduct of Giancarlo and I wanting to provide a space where people could like have real discussions, real conversations.
Yeah.
Because we felt that, and this was like, man, it's been 7 years. Yeah. So this is 2017.
It's been 7 years.
It's been 7 years.
Whoa, that's
We've
crazy.
been doing this for 7 years.
You guys meet monthly?
Monthly. During holiday time, it kind of slows
Right.
down because people are out of town, whatnot, and it really depends on like our schedules because we do it all voluntarily, like. So a month here or there we may miss, but we're pretty consistent with it being once a month. But how it started was 2017. We did our first one in Giancarlo's apartment. It was kind of like a game night type of vibe,
Okay.
but we opened up this segment where we made it somewhat structured.
Okay.
And then from there, we're like, we could do this in different spaces.
Yeah.
And our first one was at Funky Buddha in Oakland Park.
Okay.
It was like a brewery.
Yeah.
We just went there and we solicited, like not solicited, but we patronized the business. Like we brought business there and they had a good space and we sat there and we invited people. We had maybe like 20 people our first one.
Okay.
And then from there, we started to travel with it. We went to different businesses and we would say, hey, we want to bring this to your space. Would you have us? And a lot of them did. Some of them provide specials for our guests, different things. But yeah, to explain what it is, it's a, think of like a round table discussion. Okay. But in a more relaxed environment, and the questions being discussed or the topics being discussed are submitted by the participants. Oh. And it's all anonymous. Oh. Okay. So there's no finger pointing. There's no sense of like, I guess, fear of what are people going to think of me if I ask this. You can ask whatever you want.
Right. And how are they submitting?
So we'll hand out pieces of paper. They write it on the paper. Fold it up,
so it's just figured out at
drop
the
it in a hat, right? And you go around a circle and we'll share. You share your name, something interesting about yourself, and then you read a question aloud, and we speak about it for a specific time period. Only 5 minutes.
The whole group has 5 minutes.
Yep.
Got it. What if it's like crazy, like?
So there's an option to extend by majority vote.
Okay.
You can extend another 5 minutes, but we limit it because you really want to. What should I say? I think you limit it because you don't want it to draw out and draw along. Not every topic is going to be worthwhile to speak about for that long. Yeah. But also it kind of keeps it flowing, keeps it interesting. It provides variety.
You can answer more questions.
Yeah, and everyone can be heard from, because not everyone would want to talk about some of the things that are being discussed. True. But over a span of 3 hours, you're bound to find something you want to talk about.
Okay, so they're like regularly like 3 hours or so.
Yeah, it draws out. I don't want to say draws out, like it flies. The time really flies when you're around good people, when you're around an environment where people are just, enthusiastic about what they're talking about, like they're excited or they're engaged,
and they're learning like new perspectives maybe that they had.
New perspectives. They're challenging themselves to speak out. Yeah, they're challenging themselves to not speak as much, because some people talk a lot. Yeah. Some people are used to being the center of a space. Sure. And some people don't get that opportunity at all.
Is it like if you're forced to talk if you go?
No one's forced to do anything there.
But you feel like the comfort to speak up.
So we open up with a set of guidelines, and one of the things that we say is, if you are someone who's naturally reserved, we encourage you to speak out.
Got it. So they're getting called out, but
not. Yeah. Or if you're naturally outspoken, we encourage you to be an active listener. Shut up.
Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, what's the age range of people that pull up?
Typically, I mean, we've had as young as like 18.
Okay.
And we've had as old as, you know, probably in their 60s. We had a guy come in and just pop in. He was out at the park, and a lot of people they'll see and they'll just come join because it looks interesting to them. But our typical age range, I'd say, is somewhere between like 25 and maybe like 40.
Okay.
That's like our majority.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to pull up to one of these.
And it's not like it's like majority of any type of gender, or it's very much
a mix.
Fun. Just people who are curious.
Yeah.
They like to learn. They like to question things. I find that a lot of people who come by are typically positive people.
Right.
And we're very proud of the fact that we've been able to contribute to building something like this.
It's a huge accomplishment that it's like you're 7 years in.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I did not know that. And that it's still like thriving and doing well, and people pulling up and all that.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
cool.
our vision, our goal is to be able to travel with it.
Like to other states?
Other countries.
Oh, okay.
Or like assist in making it widespread in other countries, I would say. We could do it in other states because it's English. But if we went to other countries, it would be language. So.
What made you and Giancarlo decide to bring in Jasmine?
Well.
I know Jasmine. Do you know that?
No.
Me and her went to college together.
I'm not surprised, though. She went to FAU, yeah.
We were in the same classes. We were like, I think she was are we the same year? She's a year below me or whatever, but we had a few of the same classes.
Yeah.
She's sweet. She's so fun.
She is. Jasmine's
She's so
amazing.
fun. She has a very her personality is very infectious. Like you just want to she's cool.
That's Jasmine. I think that's part of the reason why we asked her to be a part of it. But the main reason was because around that time, I think she was finishing up her schooling at FAU. She's a journalist, right? And is actually doing great work.
Yeah.
In the music industry.
She's killing it.
She, I think, came to one of our conversation parties, or a few of them, but she came to a few of them, and then she began hosting some of them on her own, which we were excited about.
Yeah.
But we said the energy that she brings to the space and the fact that she has the journalism background and the fact that she also, I think, so not to make gender like the root of it, but I believe that going back to Beige, I believe that there should be balance in everything.
Yeah.
And having two males as the head of it, or not the head of it, but having two males facilitate it to bring in a female presence, I thought was very necessary.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was his reasoning, but that was something that I thought was important because I found through experience with working in teams before, you need that balance because they just bring a different perspective. It's like a guy living in a house. Some guys are like dirty.
Yeah.
Women bring beautifulness to the space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
It's kind of that.
What year did she join? What year? How many years has she been a part of it?
I want to say she's definitely been with us since around COVID time.
Okay, so at least 4 years then.
So at least I would say 5 years.
Wow.
It's been. I think she joined us around then, yeah.
That's cool. It's cool to see how it's evolved over time, bringing Jasmine in at that right time and just how well it's doing. And I need to come to one.
I mean, you do.
I do. I want to see it.
We do it in this really nice park over in Las Olas.
Yeah.
It's right on the water. It's cool. There's a big tree for shade. It's chill. Everyone brings out their little food, their little drink, whatever.
The vibes seem really nice.
Blanket.
Of course. Listen, I'm ready.
I mean, I know. Don't bring this blanket, though.
No, go bring a blanket for outside. Yeah. I got you.
To the beach.
Okay, very cool. So let's get into our main topic for today. As people that listen to me on a weekly basis, you guys always know that I have a main topic. And today, Jonathan, my bad.
It's okay. See,
Beige.
I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna trip. I'm not gonna trip.
Beige is going to join me today, but I decided that for my guests, I feel like they should have to take like an oath before we like get into it. It's very simple. It's nothing crazy, but you have to take it. So go ahead and put your right hand up. Go ahead. It's the real talk oath. Are you ready? I solemnly swear to keep it real, no matter the topic.
I solemnly swear to keep it real, no matter the topic.
Because Menashe don't like fake.
Because Menashe don't like fake, and Beige don't either.
Period. That's it. It's short and sweet. So, for our main topic today, we're going to be talking about mastering self-doubt when it comes to going after your dreams. So,
before you get into it, did you specifically choose me for the topic or the topic for me? Or was it just...
That's a good question. So, okay. When I was thinking about like who people I want to interview or whatever to start, because I want, when I have people on, to be very like conversational. I love formal interviews. I think there's a time and place for it, but I just like the flow of it being very chill. That's why like I'm not too like, at least in the beginning stages of this, focused on like the background and stuff. It's just meant to be fun and chill. But when I had the thought like, okay, I want to have Beige on to do this, because I just really like, I remember the conversations we used to have when we worked together and stuff like that. I'm like, this will be easy, it'll flow. And I remember when you asked me, because I like texted him and he asked me, and I was like, oh, I won't even say what it was, but I brought up this topic because I know it's something we talked about before, and I think it would have been fine. But then, because he was just asking me, like, what do you think? And then I was like, but let me think about it. And when I actually went to go think about it, this came to mind. And so I don't even know. It's funny because I'll get into it a little bit later, but I didn't think, oh, this would be a great topic for you. When I was just thinking about topics, maybe it's a little bit of both. Like maybe when I decided that I was going to have you on and you agreed to it, and I really thought about the conversation I wanted to have, this came to mind. But I'm very like I have like my relationship with Jesus or whatever, everything goes back to like Jesus for me and like Christianity and stuff like that. So like even before I do anything, I like pray about it and stuff. And I just kind of felt like when I get these ideas in my mind, like I kind of feel like it's like the Holy Spirit helping me sometimes. So I can't be like, so when I thought that, I was like, oh, that'd be perfect for him. But I realized that it was actually the perfect match when I saw something that you posted that we'll get into. And I was like, what are the odds? Because I didn't know that when I came up with it. So that's how we kind of got to this point. But I do think it is the perfect topic for you, especially because of the period of life that you're in right now.
It's good timing.
And we're talking about your music career and stuff.
Yeah.
And just kind of how it all falls into it. And self-doubt, I mean, is something that everyone experiences, especially when you're going after your dreams, because it's your dream. But not everyone, it's your dream, and not everyone around you is necessarily going to see that. And also when you're going after something that you really want, sometimes there's ebbs and flows to it, and I think self-doubt just creeps in for everybody. So I think mastering that is like an important conversation to have. I would say, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, the dream that you're focused on right now is the music, correct? Or are there other dreams in general? Okay.
Well,
because I know people have a lot of different dreams and goals, but like what would be like your number one, you would say right now?
My focus right now is fully on music, yes.
Okay. So have you had moments where you've wanted, you touched on it a little bit earlier, where you said you kind of stopped it for a little bit, but what made you come back to music and not fully give it up?
I mean, it's just not quitting, like not giving up on myself and what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. You know, you speak about your faith. I think for me it's similar. It's just it's my faith and belief in myself, and my faith and belief in the fact that it's something that I'm good at, and it's something that I love to do, and I'm passionate about. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we should be doing. Yeah. We should be doing the things that we're passionate about.
Things that you love.
We easily fall into having to do things that we maybe don't want to do, mm-hmm. because we live in a society that, you know, pressures us to have to take care of certain responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. At some point, I may have to do something I don't want to do also.
Yeah.
To keep it going.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't intend to. It's not in my plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's part of me now.
Yeah.
You know? And it's always been part of me, but I think I've overcome this phase of doubt, as you say.
Right. I feel like too, and you can tell me your perspective on it, a lot of times, so like for me, like I feel like Real Talk with Menashe has always been something that I've been really passionate about. I loved, and I've gone through like levels with it and directions and everything. And like this podcast to me is something that like I really feel like I should be doing / want to do. But it's interesting because there's definitely been areas in my life where like I kind of was like okay with just not, I don't know, maybe I'd convince myself like, listen, like I'll just like do something else, or I'll just like focus on something else, let this be, like whatever. And that might have been my version of like quitting or whatever. It just wasn't the focus of my life anymore. But even when I tried to, I guess, essentially walk away from it, like I somehow always was drawn back to it. Like I never really let it go. And I feel like that's a huge indicator of when you're meant to be doing something, because even when you're willing to walk away from it, like you can't, like some way, somehow you still like, it's still like a thought in my mind every day. Like when I wasn't doing it, because I officially started this podcast this year, but all of last year, I was like kind of going back and forth about it because I never really wanted to start a podcast.
You have been talking about it since 2019.
Real Talk with Menashe, and I'll tell the story like one day because it deserves its own little episode. But like like a podcast was not something that I ever thought of starting. I had done like videos every now and then and stuff like that on like YouTube, but I never even used to listen to podcasts. So I had no desire to start one. But then at the beginning, or yeah, maybe the beginning of last year, 2023, I started like, it popped in my head and I was like, wait, what? Like, do I a podcast? And I went back and forth about it all year. And I'm talking about all year long, to the point where I was like, it's now or never. Like, you're either going to start this, you're going to leave it alone. But it felt like I needed to start it because, again, like it was something I constantly thought about. And like with your music, like even when you weren't, you know, producing, you were writing, like you were doing other things about it. Like you just like I never really let it go. And I was like, well, if I'm so passionate about it, I feel like I'm thinking about it all the time, like in some capacity, maybe it's something that I'm meant to be doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how like I think it's a way to master it, because self-doubt creeps in regardless. But if it's something that you're passionate about and you just constantly think about in some way, shape, or form, it's probably something you're meant to be doing, is how I view it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me ask you this. When was your self-doubt like the worst it ever was? Was it when your friend listened to the beat and you wasn't feeling it, or have there been other times since then that your self-doubt?
No, I mean, I can't say it was worse at any specific point. I just know that I would say for the last 10 or so years,
yeah,
it's been like just a phase of comparison of, you know, this doesn't pay the bills, of what if they don't like it, of I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Like so many, like endless thoughts of negativity and of self-doubt that has crept in over the years, and takes a shot at your confidence. It takes a shot at just like what you really want to do.
Right.
And yeah, it's been like 10 years. This isn't like one day, you know, this is 10 years long. It's
a long time.
Yeah.
What do you do to combat self-doubt when the thoughts are creeping in, or like whatever? Like, is there anything that you actively do to combat it? Or does it play play into your music or any, like, or do you just focus harder on like what you're doing? Or
you know what? You know what's crazy? When I can specifically recall making beats, or making a song, and being like, man, this shit is trash, or like this is, you know, this isn't, I don't like it, or people are not gonna like it, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then just the other day, I was going through like all the songs I've ever done, and I'm listening to them like, damn, these are good.
Self-doubt.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so to me, that is the truest form of being able to overcome it. And something that I do to overcome it is I just go back and I listen to things that I've done that I did at a point where I was doubting myself.
Right.
And it's easy to see, oh, I was just talking myself out of it, or I was just doubting myself.
Yeah.
Because the proof is in it.
Yeah.
And when you are able to see the growth, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Not only was I able to go back and say, this is good, what I'm doing now, I'm like, damn, this is
better.
Good.
Yeah.
So it's in a weird way, it's like the only thing you could do really is just do it.
Push through it. Okay. So recently, this is how what I was saying about how everything kind of came together for our topic is because I saw this after I had told you what the topic was going to be, mastering self-doubt, and you posted on your Instagram, and I'm about to read the caption that you put because I had no idea that this had happened. So you said, made a big decision to leave my job last month. I was really passionate about the work I did, but I knew it was time for change. Scared, uncertain, but confident, I'm learning to embrace life and all it has to offer. It's all coming together little by little, but it takes time. Patience. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what made you decide to quit your job that you said you were passionate about and pretty much stop that to pursue something else?
Yeah, when you get to, or for me, when I get to a point where I kind of recognize, or I can see a little bit down the line, that there's not going to be much more growth for me. Yeah. I know it's time to move on.
How long had you been at this job? 3 years?
2 years. 2 years. But I think for me, I learn faster than, like, I learn at a very fast rate. Mm-hmm. And I grow at a fast rate. And just as a result of it, throughout my life, I've moved on from different opportunities kind of around that time, around 2 years. There's been other opportunities where maybe I've had like 4 years there. Yeah. But if I don't see an opportunity to grow more, then you need to grow somewhere else. Also, I was looking at this study where here in America, if you're taking, with the rate of inflation that we're experiencing here in America, if you're taking pay raises every year, mm-hmm. as opposed to moving from one opportunity to another opportunity,
you're making a lot less.
Not only making a lot less, you're not even keeping up with the inflation rate. Yeah. What are we doing here?
Yeah, that's true. That's valid.
What are we doing here? So for me, it was an opportunity to say, okay, let me recap. Let me take my time back. Mm-hmm. Let me take my freedom back. Yeah. Just for a moment. Yeah. Or however long it takes. Yeah. And let me just recalibrate. I started going to the gym again for the first time in years. Okay. I haven't been really actively at the gym probably since like
before COVID?
Like 2019, yeah, pretty much. Okay. I'm focusing more on my music. I mean, I'm like spending whole days doing sessions. Yeah. And I'm focusing more on like what are the things that I really want to do? What do I really love? And in a weird way, mm-hmm. not in a weird way, but just in the way that it always works out. When you just trust. Yeah. When you just trust yourself, when you just trust your decisions and you trust the universe or God or whatever you want to say, it tends to happen in your favor.
Yeah, things work themselves out.
Like there's always going to be a fear of what am I, I don't have enough money, or what am I going to do to pay my bills? There's always going to be a fear of, what if it doesn't work out? What if this? What if that? But if you just trust, mm-hmm. in a weird way, man, it just starts happening for you. Up to this point, I haven't had to go back to a job yet.
How long
it's
have
figuring
you-
itself out.
Wait, did it say it in the thing? When did you leave?
It wasn't that long ago. I left like beginning of March.
Because you posted that like a couple days ago.
It's been a month.
Okay.
It's been a month.
That's nice though, that you haven't had to like leave something to go to something else right away.
Yeah,
That
it's
you've
been
had
a
that
month.
period.
And not just that. Most people will tell you, oh, you need to have something lined up before you leave.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, my family is in my ear. Like they're scared, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
You're at peace.
I'm just like, chill out.
I admire
Relax.
that. I do admire that because I like even in your caption when you said uncertain, what did you say? Uncertain, scared, uncertain, but confident. I admire that because even in the uncertainty, like you're still confident, and it's hard to leave something not knowing what comes next. But I think that's like where faith kind of kicks in, like at least for me, because like you can't know everything, but if you felt that my time up is done here, I've done everything I can, I feel like I could leave here, and you're stepping in, you know that you'll step into something else and you're okay with that period of like waiting, then you're unstoppable, really, because what's holding you back at that point? A lot of people stay in jobs because again, like they need to pay. And by the way, it is privilege too to be able to be like not working for a month or whatever, or be able to focus
for
on your
sure.
on your passions. Like some people don't
For
have
sure.
that, you know, that
For sure.
freedom.
Well, I think everyone has that freedom.
No, Jonathan.
No, hear me out. Everyone has that freedom. They're not willing to deal with the consequence of what that freedom comes with. The consequence that comes with that freedom.
Yeah, not paying your bills. That's not freedom.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. And I agree with you. I'm saying you can make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes with consequence.
I feel like that comes.
I'm dealing with the consequence
You were willing,
in my own way.
but how long? How long was the lead up to you being like, I'm ready to leave? It wasn't like a
Oh
snap
no, yeah, it
decision.
was. No, yeah,
So you kind of had some time to like
It was
prepare.
months in the. I mean,
Prepare in the sense that you knew the decision you were making. It wasn't like a I'm out type thing. Like, you know, you felt wrong.
No. I gave them a month.
To like get something.
Yeah, like I ain't put a 2 weeks in. I put a month in.
Yeah, that's very nice.
And I even gave an extra week on top of. No, I left on good terms.
That's great.
It wasn't. I. That's why I say like I was very passionate about it. I loved the work I was doing. I was working with youth,
Yeah.
a lot of youth who are in like foster care or DJJ involvement or like I work with youth who experience. You want to talk about tough?
Yeah.
You want to talk about a life that isn't easy? These kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids are the ones that I respect a lot.
Yeah.
And to see a lot of the stuff that they go through at the age that they're going through it, like, yeah, I am very privileged. And I can withstand more than maybe I have been,
Right.
you know?
And it's nice that you've been able to like, again, take this time to focus on your music, focus on like your physical self, focus on other things that might have been like maybe falling through the cracks in other ways, or you just didn't have the time and attention to give to it. So at least in this season of your life, you can like.
Yeah. And it could all change overnight.
It could.
Don't ever forget that.
That's true.
You never know. There are people out here. They're about to pass away soon. They're ready to give everything they have to somebody, and their kids. They don't like their kids. They don't have any kids. They're ready to give their full inheritance. You in Boca Raton.
Is that the plan? Is that what you're?
I'm telling you, there's some trust. You could be a trust fund baby too.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying, like, life is unpredictable.
Life is
unexpected.
unpredictable.
You don't know what's to come. All you know is the decision that you make, and if you're happy with those decisions, and if you end up in a space that you're not happy with, and you didn't make that decision, you're gonna be even more upset.
That's true. I always say this too, because for a very long time I didn't know what when people say like, what's your wait, now I don't even remember the phrase. What's your biggest fear or something? And I'd always say something like what people say, like spiders or something. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't even think I'm scared of the spiders that much. I don't want to see one, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I just never knew what the real answer was.
I wish a spider appears out of nowhere.
No, Like, I don't know. I really don't think I'll actually like jump up the way you think. I don't know. Whatever. I don't need spiders. Anyway, my point in saying that is I figured out what it is. And like, I think my biggest fear in life is getting to the end of my life and looking back on it and not have done the things that I wish I had like the things I thought about doing and just not doing them, and now being in a position where I cannot do them. Because of course you look back on your life, and even things like that, I, you know, praying that I'm always able-bodied and able to do everything I want to do or whatever, but like sometimes like the older you get and stuff, you just like, it's like, why are you even waiting? I believe that you can accomplish dreams and goals at any age and you can do things, but it's like, if the dream and the goal or whatever is in you now, then what are you waiting for? Because again, we don't know how much time we have on this earth. I know this girl, I went to school with her brother, and she got cancer and with months was gone. And she was like, she's young, she's in like maybe 25 or something, just like that. Her life, she just got married, starting her life. And I think about like all the life she had to live, you know, and stuff like that, and how like, again, with being creative and stuff, like sometimes people don't understand your creativity and that self-doubt can creep in. But it's like, does it really matter when like life is so short? And like, I don't know, you being creative is just your self-expression, and like you should be able to do those things, because at the end of the day, like everyone's gonna die, you know. And you know, I kind of think of those things too when self-doubt creeps in. Like, if this is something that makes me happy, then like you should do it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. You're right. It happens every day. I had a friend, you know, Gene. He's 34 years old. He just died of a heart attack.
Dang. Sorry to hear that.
That shit hit me.
Yeah.
I definitely had a moment where I cried. I was at home. I just sat there, and, you know, this was a few days after it happened.
Yeah.
And I can't say like Gene and I spoke every day, but every time I saw him, I was like happy to see him. Or like you know, and it hit me a few days later. I was just like, I just broke down. I was like, damn, man, 34. He had a heart attack.
That's crazy.
So when you talk about, you know, getting to the end of your life and looking back and saying and regretting.
Yeah.
You know why that hurts so much? Because you know.
Like what you're capable of?
Like, you know that's what you need to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why are you fighting it?
Right.
Why
are you fighting it? I agree.
It is such a bad feeling. In fact, you could look from where you're at now.
Yeah.
You don't even have to wait to the end of your life. Look from where you're at now and look back at some things that. Do you have regrets?
What do you mean regrets about what?
Anything. Something that you should have done that you haven't done yet.
Sure. Like I would even say like I don't know if I'd call it regret, but I get what you're saying. Like things that I wish I had started earlier or something. Because then you'd be that much farther ahead in whatever it was.
Or things that you just wish you did that you haven't done yet.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. Not anything. I think this.
Good.
I think this, actually. That's
Which
when
you're
I
doing
tell
it.
you, yeah, when I tell you that last year I was warring all thoughts in my head. Because if I had asked anyone, they'd be like, oh, yeah, for sure. And I was taking like little baby steps. I would like.
But that's okay.
Yeah, but it was getting to the point too where in my mind, or like I just felt like, girl, like why are you holding yourself back?
Yeah.
Like if you feel like you have everything within you to do it, you think about it a lot, you know you want to do it. So like what's holding you back? It was like the thoughts, whatever. And eventually that's why I like threw myself into it, because I feel like sometimes you want things to be perfect. And another thing I wanted to touch on was like the whole like I feel like that season of development is so important and crucial, because a lot of times too, like in order to be successful in something, if you really care about something and you want it to be successful, like you need that kind of season of like, you got to master the self-doubt and get past that. But then you've also got to just be okay with like kind of not being seen for a little bit, because in that season is where you like really like fine tune things and figure out like what works for you. And if this is going to be like something that like has longevity and stuff. So I think in my head too, I was like, I just need to start this, because I'll never get to that point I want to be at if I'm so caught up in things being like perfect in a sense. I had to be okay with the fact that it's not going to be perfect.
Right.
I'm going to figure things out along the way. I'm doing something I've never done before, and I have to just be okay with that process. And when self-doubt creeps in, I kind of just shut it shut it at that moment, and I just keep pushing forward because, again, life is short. I feel called to do this, and like it's just my creative expression.
Do you know I was named after a book? Not Beige, but Jonathan.
What book?
Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Who's that?
Read it.
Can you go tell me, like?
No.
Is it a long book?
20. No, it's about 20, 30 pages. It's the best book you probably read.
Why? Because you're named after it?
No. Well, yeah, but no. No, it's just it's very much a story of mastery, of self-doubt, of not fitting in, of answering the call, answering your calling, answering your, sticking with your passions no matter what gets in your way.
Gets in your way and going after it.
Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Read it.
I will read it.
I'm telling you.
I will get
You don't have to tell me that you will.
No, I will because you've told me about it. I'll tell you. It's 20 pages. I can give you 20 pages. It'll give me insight.
30.
Watch it be like 70 pages.
It's not. There's a PDF. You can look it up right now. I would encourage buying it because, I believe in supporting artists and creatives, but I also think sometimes you just need the message. Yeah. And if you could get the message as quickly as possible, get it as quickly as possible.
I will read it. Any last thoughts on ways to master self-doubt? Final.
What I would say is I'm no master. I'm just taking it a day at a time. Yeah. I think we all are crafting ourselves little by little. Mm-hmm. And just don't listen to that second voice. Yeah. And when we all know which one it is, it's the one that's like telling you, it's not going to work out, or just don't listen to it. Just start baby steps. Mm-hmm. Some people need baby steps and some people need to dive right the fuck in.
Dive in.
Oh, what? I do have something else.
Go ahead.
I was talking about this earlier. So comparison.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
I think is one of the most dangerous forms of self-doubt. Yeah. That we're experiencing now. Yeah. With the waves of social media and not even, I wouldn't even say just social media. I would just say, just in general, I'm sure there was comparison historically.
They say comparison is a thief of joy.
Right. Like, it's okay to want to compete. Yeah. But don't beat yourself or don't take the L before you've even tried. Yeah. And also know that people are on different chapters too. Exactly. Like people are at different points in their life.
Right. Man. Like you're looking at someone that's been in this game for like a long time, or someone that got a leg up. Like you don't know what someone's story is. And I feel like instead of comparing yourself, look at them as like, be inspired by them. Right. Jonathan, we've had some.
What?
Sorry. My bad, y'all. Okay, I knew him as Jonathan. Y'all know that. I told her
to change it on
Beige.
Interview.
Oh my gosh.
Change it on the interview notes.
Rip me out the plastic. We've been acting brand new. Facts. All right, Beige. Thank you so much for coming on, for being my first guest. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. I think that everyone listening is going to enjoy this conversation. Yeah. And it's been great. To wrap this up, okay, for y'all that don't know, I did say it earlier. We did used to work together.
Wait, before you wrap it, I want to say how much I'm proud of you for sticking with it. I remember when you first made the jingle with it for this.
He was there. Yeah.
I used to go around singing it all the time.
He did.
Talk with Menashe.
You did. Yeah.
So just to see it from that point to now, I'm really excited for what you're going to continue doing and to see how it grows and develops. So just don't stop.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. So back when we used to work together, Beige used to freestyle all the time. Used to annoy us, y'all. I'm talking about we doing regular things, and he's over here like trying to like start something, and we're trying to eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're trying to like live our lives. And so I figured, the music artist Beige is in the building. I figured I'm gonna give you your moment. All right, I'm gonna have you freestyle for us a little something. All I have, you got 3. One's a phrase, right? But I'm gonna give you 3 words to incorporate in there. All right, you ready? The first one's real talk.
Real talk.
The second one is sky. And the third one is house. I don't know. I just kind of came up with some random things.
All right. Hey.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Are you giving me a beat or am I going acapella?
I had found one. Do you want the beat?
No. I want you to make the beat. Like,
oh my
like
God.
beatbox.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't sign up for all this. Beatbox.
Yeah. Come on.
I don't know. What do you? I don't
Come
know.
on. Just give me a. Something.
Okay. Can I do it? I don't know if I can. That's a lot of pressure. My camera just died. You guys are going to just have to listen to this.
We're still going to do it.
We're still going to do it. Okay, here we go. I don't know. It's kind of hard.
Just do it. Hey. Okay. Okay. Hey. Real talk. Oh, come on. Keep the beat going. All right.
Wait.
Real talk. I looked outside and I saw that there was an eclipse in the sky. And with my people here, you know we like to ride to some music when we like to slide. In the new Cadillac, what's that? I got my house in the birds, man. Ooh, that shit looking real nice though. Got white walls on the pipe though. Okay. On the right though, man, all night though. Hold on. Harrison gonna go ahead and switch the camera on so we can keep going, yeah, all night long. Might record an interview to the next song. I'm a freak in the streets and a killer in the sheets. Got what's that? Jason or Freddie?
Oh, he's looking
Michael.
at his shirt.
So it's Jason.
You can't be talking mid like rap.
I like to talk mid rap. I talk mid rap. I talk ooh cap. No cap, I got a hat on my head that looks like a raccoon. That's a sled rat.
Okay.
I don't know, and I'm in this shit for show. Yeah, you know the boy Beige, he coming with the flow. Got the lights on, and it's looking like snow.
Oh.
Snowflakes on my sheet, yeah, I keep it cold. Hold on, yeah, I'm in this shit for show. Real talk with Menage, that's the show.
Yay! Thank you so much, Beige, Jonathan. I appreciate you. That is it for our episode today.
Next time, have a better beat.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for lacking on the beat, yo. That is not my creativity cuts right there. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Where can they find you on socials?
At Beige Warrior, Instagram, Twitter, Fanbase, if you're into Fanbase. Spotify is just Beige. Beige Warrior as well on Spotify. And yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, that concludes our episode. And thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you guys next week.
It's Real Talk with Menashe.
Let's get real. Bye.